What's up, it's your boy Jerk Mook, and we back like we never left. So, DAIWA, SHIMANO, or 13 fishings. And before we get to that, let me tell you how I ended up in this situation. So, I'm replacing my jerkbait combo, which was a 13 fishing A2 on a Mega Bass Orochi XX jerkbait special. The combo caught me a whole bunch of fish throughout the years, but it had one problem, and it was this reel. This is the 13 Fishings A2. The problem I had with it was that it was backlashing way too much. I was spending way too much money online, and I use Yuzuri T7, so that's like $20 a pop for line. What was causing it was the braking system. So the braking system and the tension knob, actually. I had this reel for probably like a year or so, and just over the years, it just got worse and worse with castability and adjustability. So I ran into the question of, what do I replace this reel with? Do I replace it with a Tatula 70 or a Shimano Corrado MGL 70? I had this reel for about a year, and over time it just got worse. I'm always in between a 2 or a 3, but the problem is, like, I can't get in between the 2 or 3. I go to a 2, then I'm a backlash, and I get into a 3, I'll lose castability. So I got over it, and I was like, it's time to replace it. Let's talk about my swim bait / spinnerbait setup, which is a Tatula H on the Mega Bass Levante Versatile. The Versatile is the workhorse of the Levante series. It's basically a medium heavy. So how I ended up with this reel is, this was my first expensive setup, and I was like, I want a jerkbait specific rod. And I was a big fan of Mega Bass, still am a big fan of Mega Bass, but I went to the Versatile. It was the entry level of the Mega Bass series. I have the Mega Bass Levantes, Orochis, and then the Destroyers. The Levante was the cheapest, and so I was like, oh, that's a good, nice start to my fishing journey. And I got into it, and I was like, oh man, this is really, really heavy, really, really stiff, and found out that it was a medium heavy, so had to end up replacing the jerkbait rod and moved on. So I have the Tatula 100. I really don't have any problems with the reel. It's easy to adjust. You hardly ever backlash. The only problem with the reel is that it gets noisy after about a year owning it. I had that reel about a year, and then it started to get noisy. I've heard that DAIWA is known for under greasing their reels, while Shimano over greases. But a little bit of grease, a little bit tender love and care, and you'll be all right with a DAIWA. I mean, now for my top water / worm setup, it is a Shimano MGL 150 on a St. Croix Mojo Bass. And you might be asking yourself, why am I using a medium heavy top water rod? Whenever I throw top water, I throw it out to a long distance, and with that medium heavy, I got the power to set the hook when it's a strike at distance. I wouldn't have that capability with a medium, so I went with a medium heavy. But the tip is soft enough for me to use soft plastics. So that's how I ended up with that. So I recently got the Shimano MGL 150, and that reel casts super, super smooth. It's like you throw the bait and it flies. Like anti-gravity reels or something. I have no clue, but it is super, super smooth. It was just a learning curve for me with the MGL 150. It's like, instead of, let's say, your internal brakes, they don't have any numbers. Like, you pull tabs, and that's how you turn brakes on and turn brakes off. But I really haven't had any problems with that reel. Also easy to adjust, but I feel like I can backlash it more than I can a Tatula. Some good advice I would have about making a setup is I wouldn't say don't listen to anybody, but do your own research. I spent a lot of time listening to Matt and Tim at Tactical Bassin, and this is how you know. They said the X pride this, the X pride that. So I went fishing one day. I accidentally shut 2 rods into my car. One was an X Pride and the other was a megabass, Levante. The Levante survived. The X Pride didn't. They had a video about the SLX. Broke that rod in 2 weeks. And they had something about the A2, the workhorse of 13 fishing. And here I am replacing it. So do your own research and come up to your own conclusions of what's best for you. But yeah, I think 13 fishing got a long way to go before they could compete with DAIWA or Shimano. I went with the MGL 70 just because of the castability of it. It casts further than what I heard. I said don't listen to nobody, but what I heard is that the 70 MGL casts further than the Tatula SV70. With a jerkbait that's keeping me, I might have to deal with a little bit more backlashes, but at least I get the adjustability of having a Shimano rather than that 13 fishing. Like I said, if they fix their braking system and their tension knobs, it'll be fine. I wouldn't even have to replace the rod, but I mean the reel. I wouldn't have to replace the reel, but I really can't use it. Every time I use it, I backlash. So yeah, I really beat my reels. Like I go fishing almost every weekend, throw them on the ground, set them anywhere, everywhere, gravel, rocks, grass, it don't matter. But I use them as a tool. I don't fantasize over them. I want the best tool to get the job done. So with the Tatula SV and the Corrado MGL 70, it really came down basically to looks. Those are two companies that I think are really, really tied. I don't even think 13 Fish is in the competition. I mean, they did a lot, and I'm glad to own the reels, but they can't compete with DAIWA or Shimano. But it's personal preference. If you like, not backlashing, get a Tatula, get a DAIWA. But if you want that castability and that smoothness that comes with Shimano, then go with that brand. But yeah, 13 Fish is nowhere near close to that. But DAIWA, Tatula, DAIWA and Shimano are definitely tied. I feel like those are two companies that battle with each other non-stop, and you can't go wrong with either one of them. But 13 Fishing got a little bit of work to do. Like, even if you look, like, this button is super, super thin, and it's just not quality made. Like, it's super, super, look good, look beautiful. But yeah, it's just like some things like you don't know until you get something that's really, really good. I went with the Shimano MGL 70. It's just a very, very smooth reel, castability, adjustability, and I don't have to worry about maintenance right now. Any reel you're gonna have to worry about maintenance at some point, but right now I don't have to worry about maintenance. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna do everything I needed to do with. So let's get this reel set up and see what it could do. So we just stopped at a new pond, and so what we're gonna do, we're gonna break it down as slow as possible. It's been raining for the last 2 days, so fishing might be a little bit tough. The pressure is also rising. It's at 29.73 and going all the way to 30. We got a cold front coming in on the backside. So, like I said, it should be tough. I'm gonna just take my time and see what can happen and set this reel up. So what happened when it got high pressure, the fish will be harder to catch. It got more weight on them, sending them to the bottom, and the pressure today is increasing. So as it increases, they'll come from the top, suspended, and they'll slowly go to the bottom. So the plan is today, use a slow rolling spinnerbait, double Colorado blades, a fluke, and then a jerk bait, so I could jerk, pause, and sit in that column, hoping the fish come up and bite it. So let's get to it and see what we could do. Oh, that's why. Oh, on a fluke. Ate the hell out of that thing. Woo! Nice little one. Hell yeah. I like that, baby. Hey, that fluke nice, man. That fluke nice. I'm gonna have to launch you, baby. There you go. We got one more spot. I want to see if I can break this reel in. After that, heading home, man. Y'all hit something? Oh yeah, that's a nice one. Boy, I ain't caught no fish on no jerkbait in a minute, bro. Oh yeah. Nice one. Woo, hoo, 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 boy. So, it's cold out there, so that's why this fish is so light. Also, if you look at his stomach, full, absolutely full, living good. It's a nice 2-pounder, but what happened with that rain, it get cold, that pressure drop. So when that pressure drop, they eat. And he full as hell. Appreciate it. So we heading back home, man. We got 2 for the day. Got my reel set up. It's everything I could have asked for. But if you made it this far, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.